Hello, are you familiar with powerlifting? People at the gym often ask me about powerlifting. Whenever I can, I try to explain it, but I don't always have the time. So this video answers the question I get most often. I hate thank you to the European Powerlifting Federation for this incredible work they do in growing and supporting this sport, and of course for producing this video that helps explain what powerlifting is. I really hope many people discover our sport through it.
Powerlifting is a strength sport that involves lifting the maximum weight possible in 3 different lifts. The 3 highest validated scores are added together to determine the total score. Competitors are divided into a series of weight classes, from the women's under 47 kilogram class to the men's over 120 kilogram category. The squat is a multi-joint movement engaging the quadriceps, glutes, hips and hamstrings. The upper body carries the bar. American Jesus Olivares, weighing 186 kilograms, lifts 2.5 times his weight in a squat, which is 478 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of a show-jumping horse. French woman Jade Jacob lifts 188 kilograms, over 3 times her weight of 57 kilograms, which means she could lift a racing motorbike on her shoulders. With the feet stabilizing the upper body on the bench press is like a loaded push-up on your back, targeting shoulders, triceps, pectoralis major and anterior deltoids. In the lightest category, the women's under 47 kilograms, British woman Bobby Butters lifts 100 kilograms, equivalent to the weight of 16 racing bikes. American Jonathan Keiko, in the under 93 kilogram category, lifts 245 kilograms, 2.5 times his own weight, or the equivalent of the weight of a piano. The deadlift targets the abdominal, back and leg muscles, with the hips, quadriceps, hamstrings and adductors, especially in the sumo deadlift. Polish powerlifter Agata Sitko achieved the best performance of all time in the under 69 kilograms category by lifting 248 kilograms, which is 3.6 times her own weight, the equivalent of a pack of 3 rugby sevens players. In the men's under 74 kilogram category, New Zealander Timothy Monegatti deadlifts 331 kilograms, which is 4.5 times his weight, and the equivalent of 36 water packs. Powerlifting is an individual sport that is worked on in a community. The quintessential sport of self-improvement and becoming the best version of yourself.
Powerlifting is a sport composed by 3 main disciplines called lifts. They are in order: squat, the bench press, and the deadlift. Each athlete has 3 attempts with 1 minute per attempt to start the lift. There are 3 referees, and each of them give a white light in case of a good lift and a red light in case of a no lift.
The athletes are separated per weight, age and sex category. The sum of each of the best attempts per lift builds the total, and the athlete with the bigger total is the winner. In case of a draw, the lighter lifter wins.
The squat is the first movement of the competition. On that lift, the use of the legs and the back is extremely important. Once the athlete stands erect with his knees locked and the bar on his back, the central referee gives the squat command. The lifter then bends his knees and lowers his body until the top surface of the legs at the hip joint are lower than the top surface of his knees. He then comes back up, locking his knees and hips in order to complete the lift. The central referee will then give the rack command, and the athlete has to put the bar on the squat rack. There are 3 main mistakes to avoid in order to not have a no lift on the squat. First, if the athlete isn't standing erect with his knees locked at the beginning and at the end of the squat event. Second, if the proper competition depth isn't reached at the bottom of the movement. Third, if the athlete doesn't complete the lift with a single upward movement, meaning if the bar goes down during the ascent of the movement.
The bench press is the second movement performed in a powerlifting competition. It's a movement that mainly uses upper body strength. A slight back arch is authorized and allows for a stronger and healthier shoulder positioning. Laying down on the bench, the athlete has to create points of contact between his head, shoulder, glutes, and the bench. His feet has to lay flat on the ground, with the heels in the contact with the floor. Once that position is locked, the central referee gives the start command. The lifter lowers the bar until it touches his chest. The lower underside of both of his elbow joints have to be at level or below the top surface of each shoulder joint. He then has to stabilize the bar for the referee to give him the press command. The lifter has to push the bar back up until the complete extension of his elbows. The central referee gives the rack command and the lift is completed.
There are 4 main reasons to have a no lift on that movement. First, if you're not able to fully extend your elbows at the beginning and at the end of the movement. Second, if you don't touch the chest with the bar, or if your elbows don't go at level or below the top of your shoulder joint. Third, if you're not able to maintain all points of contact with the bench, knowing the head, the shoulders, and the butt. Fourth, if the lift isn't completed in a single upward movement. The deadlift is the last movement of the powerlifting competition. On that movement, the lifter's whole body is used and put to the test. The athlete approaches the bar once the central referee calls bar loaded. He then has 1 minute to start the lift. In the conventional or sumo position, the athlete has to pull the barbell until his shoulders, hips, and knees are fully locked. Once that position is assumed by the lifter, the central referee will give the down command. The bar has to be lowered to the ground without the lifter being allowed to drop it until it touches the floor, which completes the lift. At the end of deadlift, the powerlifting total is made, which determines the winner and final placings. There are 4 main mistakes to avoid. First, not locking your shoulders, hips, or knees at the end of the movement. Second, not completing the lift with a single upward bar movement. Third, completing the lift hitching at the legs in order to allow you to do so. Fourth, dropping the bar after the central referee down command.